Hello, everyone. I'm Katina Fields, and I'm here with Dr. Dwayne Buckingham here at the VIP Events Concierge Entrepreneur Reception. Tell us a little bit about why you came tonight and what your role is going to be tomorrow.
Okay, well, I came tonight because I actually wanted an opportunity to be a part of this great event of entrepreneurs who are empowering the community to dream and live and think big. And so it was really important for me to become part of this event so that I can be part of that dream and help individuals accomplish their dream. Tomorrow, I will be talking about mental health and spiritual relationships, because you cannot be a successful entrepreneur who achieves your dream without taking care of your mental health. So that's what I'll be offering to this wonderful event tomorrow.
Thank you so much for coming, and I look forward to seeing what you're going to say for us tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yesterday I didn't tell you guys who I am and what I do. Basically, I'm a mental health provider. But what I do actually, I provide 3 C's: coaching, counseling, and consulting. And you have to understand the difference, because coaches are individuals who, when you're in a good place and you need some guidance, they help you move forward. Counselors are people that help you deal with your past so that you can move forward. And then consultants are people like me who help you figure out which one you need to do. So you have to understand that when we talk about coaching, it's positive psychology. Counseling is for people who are stuck. And so you have to understand that, because sometimes I talk to people who are talking to coaches when what they really need is a counselor. And so you have to understand that difference. And so I'm that counselor guy that some people need to talk to instead of talking to a coach because they're not in that place to move forward. So I provide mental health. Today I want to talk to you guys about mental health and spiritual relationships, because I believe that God created us with beautiful minds to have beautiful relationships. God created a beautiful mind to have beautiful relationships. And I believe in order to put your dream to the test, you have to be good with these 2 things. So I'm going to talk to you guys real quick about it. Now, Mr. Elwood talked about dreams. But we know that dreams, when we define what a dream is, the reality is that dreams begin in our where? In our minds. So everything that we do starts and begins in our minds. So dreams are manifestations of images and stories and things that play out in where? Our minds. So in order for you to even put your dream to the test, you have to understand where and how it manifests. It manifests in our minds. These are images that we create while we either are asleep or while we are awake. But they are images that we create. So we understand that dreams manifest in your mind is important to me to mean that you have to be able to do what? Take care of your mind. Because if that's where the dreams begin, we know some people say we all dream. He said we dream. But the question that we like to resolve in mental health is, why do we dream? We like to answer the why questions in mental health, because everything that we do, there is a why behind it. Some people can tell you what you do, but they can't often tell you why you do it. This is what I want you to understand. We dream because dreams represent voids and hardships in our lives. Dr. King said, I have a dream that one day. So when we dream, we're dreaming because we either miss something or we long for something. And so dreams are just not these images just that pop out of our head. They typically represent something that we want or that we need. So for myself, my dream manifested from hardships and voids. There was a lot of hardship that I experienced in my life that said to me that one day I would like to do something different. And some of that hardship, if you understand, that caused me to dream. I started dreaming as early as 5 years old. I can vividly remember what those dreams were, because I had some very harsh situation that propelled me to want to dream. And some of those things were, I'm the second youngest of 8 children. There was 8 of us, and I was the second youngest. But more importantly, I was raised by a single parent mother in the ghetto. And when I mean the ghetto, I mean the ghetto, where we lived in what we call the cold water flats. They were called the cold water flats because they did not have hot water. So when I wanted to take a bath or take a shower, I had to go heat up the water, stand in the bucket, pour the water in there, and that's how I bathed myself, because we did not have hot water. We called them the cold water flats because we did not have heat. When the winter came around, we had to use wood stoves and kerosene heaters to keep warm, because that's what our way of keeping our bodies and souls in good spirit. Wow. When we're talking about hardships, I witnessed at 5 years old, I remember walking home from school, and there was a dead body laying in the alley. The man had got shot up. And the police in the inner cities take so long to ride that when we got out of school, we saw the body, that blood. So I witnessed violence, I witnessed mental illness, I witnessed individuals use drugs, and they were not in their right state of mind. So I had a lot of hardship, and finally, we shared our sleeping quarters with rats and roaches. Literally, that you had to make sure that when you went to bed, that you did not have anything on your fingers or hands because they would bite you if not. And so we grew up in those conditions, and we did not have 2 pennies to rub together because we didn't have the financial prosperity. So when you are born and raised in those conditions, you begin to dream. And that's what I did. I began to dream. I began to dream that one day I will become a mental health doctor so that I can help people overcome the hardships that I was experiencing. I began to dream that one day I will become a successful 6-figure entrepreneur so that I can live the good life. See, we dream because we miss something. We dream because we long for something. And that starts our journey, is when we're trying to achieve the very things that we long for. So I dreamed about these things. And I stand before you today to say that dreams do come true. They do come true, because I can stand before you today and say that I'm president and CEO of a 6-figure company. That I make good money doing the things that I love to doing, which is giving back to people. I stand before you today and say that I'm a clinical psychotherapist who has provided therapy to over 30,000 people. You say, Dr. Buckingham, how is that possible? For the last 19 years, I've sat in a counseling chair, and I've talked to 6 to 7 patients every day for 18 years. You do the math. I've been able to help a lot of people overcome the very hardships that caused me to dream. I've been able to earn 6 figures, but more importantly, I like to say that it's not about your image per se, but when you are able to overcome the very things that have hunted you, it makes you feel good on the outside. Yes. You all agree. And so with that, I've been able to do some things by acquiring a $500,000 home. I said I lived in the Coldwater Flats when I was young, but now I'm proud to say that I live in a 5-bedroom home, and I share the sleeping quarters with my wife and my son. And I said that I grew up in a single-parent household, so I broke some patterns. I did some things different. And so that's important to understand that. And then financial prosperity, because you can dream and dream and dream, but if you don't have the means to make the dream come true, it doesn't matter how you dream. So financial prosperity, I've been able to acquire that. And that is how my dream has come through, that I can stand before you and say that I am not in debt. I have 3 degrees, a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, and a PhD, and I owe no one anything. I have 4 cars that I own flat out. I owe no one anything. I can say to you that I am in a place where God has allowed me to prosper and fulfill my dream. But the key word is, how did you achieve your dream? People ask me this. Dr. Buckingham, we know that we dream, but how did you go from the Coldwater Flats to earning 6 figures? There had to be something that you did. How did you do it? And I say to them with a smile on my face, I implemented 2 strategies, and I put my dream to the test. So you can dream, but it won't manifest until you put it to the test. And when you put it to the test, is that when that dreams begin to flourish and it begins to blossom. So how did I put my dream to the test? I say to you all, there's 2 things that you have to do, and the number one being is you got to nurture your mental health. And when I talk to people, why it's important to nurture your mental health? It's important to nurture your mental health because you got to have the why. See, your mental health is your cognitive ability to be able to process information, to reason, and to make decisions. So you have to take care of your mind so that you can reason out and make rational decisions about being an entrepreneur. Make rational decisions about fulfilling your dream. So a person who is in distress cannot successfully fulfill a dream in distress. You have to nurture your mind. And why do I say nurture your mind? Because you are what you think. You are what you think. I'm a Proverbs man. You might want to say, Dr. Buckingham, why are you a Proverbs man? I'm a Proverbs man because Proverbs is a book of what? Wisdom. Knowledge. So if you want to know something, you turn to Proverbs because you get some wisdom and you get some knowledge. Right. So it says that for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. So he combines the 2. Some of us allow passion to drive us, but you know what? Passion can get distorted because that's an emotional space, but your logic is a mental place that has to guide the emotion. Y'all don't hear me. Come on. So you have to nurture your mental health. And the how do you do it? You have to invest in a mental health coach. Some knowledge is free and some knowledge is not. See, we've gotten in the age where everybody runs to the internet. Everybody Googles everything. And there's times for that and there's times when you should not do that. And when it comes to your mental health, I don't believe you should be playing on the internet. No. Right. We understand people out here are sick and you need to be sitting in front of somebody who's skilled and trained that can help you. So there's a time you have to invest in yourself. When I was in graduate school, they said the best therapist seek therapy because we all got some problems.
Yes.
The best therapist seek therapists. We all have some problems. So you have to be able to invest in yourself. Your mind can be your greatest asset or your greatest liability. Your greatest asset or your greatest liability. This is why you have to face it. If you don't invest in yourself, how do you expect other people to invest in you? You're delusional. That's what we call it mental health. You're delusional. The benefits of investing in your mental health. Develop a sound mind and dream clarity. See, we dream, but sometimes our dreams are not always clear. So you need sometimes people to help you, because I can tell you as an entrepreneur, I had a lot of dreams and I dreamed about doing a lot of things, but I had to have somebody who can help me clarify. And when I say clarify, you got to have a strategy. You got to have somebody who can guide you. So you need dream clarity. That's what an individual like myself can do. But more importantly, I was able to go from the Coldwater Flats to a $500,000 home because I took captive of my thoughts. I understood how to eliminate negative thinking and replace it with positive thinking. I understood that in order for me to overcome my past, I had to understand it and process it. See, in resiliency, people believe that when you're resilient, you just keep moving. But I believe that when you're resilient, you become wiser, better, and stronger. See, there's some people who just keep moving, but that don't mean that they're better. They just keep moving. And so that's why we run to coaches sometimes. I'm a coach myself, not knocking, but sometimes our past needs to be addressed before we can move into the future. And you have to understand that. So that's the benefit of nurturing your mental health. The second strategy that I use to test and put my dream to work is I develop spiritual relationships. I didn't just say relationships, I said what? Spiritual relationships. Because spiritual relationships are more important than just any relationship. And with whom did I develop my first relationship with? God. Because I am a spiritual guy who also believes that through Christ I can do all things. So once I understood that my journey was going to be tough because my past was tough, I understood that I had to develop a relationship with one who never forsakes you. The second person, or second people with whom next? My love circle. So we all have a love circle. Your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And these are the people who like to see you win. Because when you win, they win. So it amazes me how we put a lot of energy into everyone outside of our love circle. But my wife is my greatest support system, but sometimes we neglect those closest to us to run into the communities to benefit and give back when our love circles are neglected. And you have to understand the importance of a love circle because they are connected with you at the heart. See, other people may be connected to you based on what you can give them, but your love circle is connected with you at the heart. They want to see you win. So you have to learn how to nurture and develop those relationships. And then lastly, what are the benefits? The benefits is we understand that when you're talking about spiritual is important, that it's about your emotion and your character. See, you want to be in relationship with people who help foster you emotionally and build up your character. That's the essence of spiritual. It affects your well-being. So you want to understand the benefits of developing those relationships. Number two, God is always on your journey. He's always there with you. Secondly, your love circle, they help you maintain harmony and peace. That's what your love circle helps you do. They help you maintain harmony and peace. This is my closing remarks. Everything that I do, I often like to say to everyone that I speak to that the way that you think influences how you feel. And how you feel influences what you do. We call it think, feel, do. You can't get around it. The problem is a lot of us start in the middle with the feel. So we feel something, then we act, then we go back and think about it later. That's why you keep having problems. Because you got to get this concept down that says think, feel, do. So these are personal quotes that I shared in this one. These are quotes that you can use to put your dream to the test. My first quote here says, happiness on the outside does not matter if it's not felt on the inside. So I deal with a lot of people who walk around and they shine and they look good, but they jacked up on the inside. But they smiling because we taught to fake it until you make it. And so you want to fake it until you make it. You got on a $100 suit, but you messed up because you need something else. The other quote is, you will never get ahead in life if you dream big but think and act small. See, there's some of us who got these big dreams, but we're timid. We don't want to be bold, and you can't get anywhere unless you are bold. I tell people you can either be bold or broke. You got a choice, but you're going to do one of them. And then the last one, the only time that giving is bad is when you're giving up. The only time giving is bad is when you're giving up. And the third one is, your mind can be your greatest asset or your liability. And to take you home, I truly believe that failure is not determined by your setback, but by your unwillingness to fight back. See, we all get set back, but that's not what kills dreams. What kills dreams is your unwillingness to fight back. Once you start fighting, there's nothing that you cannot accomplish, because my job is to help people achieve what they believe and believe that they can achieve. Thank you all.